Hello, welcome to Meta Perfume. I am Emily, here today with Twixie, who's off camera. I am going to I'm going to kick off a series on Britney Spears fragrances. I have a big Britney Spears collection, and I've been planning to review all of them kind of in a series similar to my Elizabeth Arden, but I'm going to start it today. So starting with the original Fantasy fragrance. Now I have a lot of the Fantasy line. I'm not going to say I have all of them because there were so many, and I know some did not last, some were discontinued, some I've owned and given away, and I can talk about those. But this is the original of the Fantasy line, which is the most recognizable line and probably the first big hit fragrance that she had. It came out in 2005. The nose behind it is James Krivda. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but and this is a small size. You can get this on FragranceNet still. A tester is like $18.89 with their 30% off discount, which pretty much you can always get. And then the full size, which is this size, that is a full size tester. And then a full size, just regular boxed one is with the discount $23.09. So pretty inexpensive, and let's give it a shot. So I feel like this is a pretty strong fragrance for a celebrity fragrance. I didn't want to start or review this in the winter because in the summer, because I think it's too strong and too overwhelming for hot weather, really. So I know it's still hot. It's like gonna be almost 90 in Los Angeles today, but in the mornings it's cool enough. So okay, so this fragrance, I'll give the notes, put them up here. Top notes are fruity, kiwi, red lychee, and quince, sort of unusual fruits, tropical-ish. And then middle notes of white chocolate, cupcake, orchid, and jasmine. And in the base, we have musk, orris root, and woodsy notes. Now, I just sprayed this, and the opening is pretty nice. Like it's definitely got that tropical fruit vibe over the gourmand, but with those fruits in the top and a little bit of citrus that the quince gives it. It's nice. It's not too sweet. This is a sweet fragrance. This is a gourmand fragrance. Obviously it's got cupcake. Gourmand, I guess, refers to like food, fragrances that have smells of food. So this definitely qualifies. Yeah, I like the opening. I sprayed a little bit on this hand a while back so I could get a little bit more of the dry down. Now, this fragrance is, to my nose, I don't think white chocolate is, I'm trying to smell white chocolate. It's not a very strong scent, and I haven't had it in a while because I don't think they make a vegan version of it, so maybe they do. Let me know if you've seen any vegan white chocolate, if you give me a comment. But I feel like this was like, in the opening, that fruity, kind of candy fruity, sweet, gourmandy scent. That's nice. When that dries down, I get a lot more of the gourmand notes, the cupcake and the white chocolate. Although I wouldn't say, like, I don't know if anybody's ever smelled this and goes, that smells like white chocolate, because white chocolate is kind of a subtle scent, honestly. And this to me is like a musky candy, sweet, sugary scent. So yeah, it obviously has some merit. I mean, I think it's a bit dated now, and she's come out with so many iterations of it over the years, like so many. And I think a lot of those iterations are a bit better. And I actually think some of the not fantasy line, like the VIP private show, and this one is the private show and VIP private show, I think resemble this fantasy fragrance, but improve upon it a little bit, kind of dialing back the sugary sweetness and adding a little bit more complexity and subtlety to it. So I still think on the whole, it's not a bad fragrance. Obviously, it spawned a massive line of successful fragrances for her, and starting to dry it down a little bit. I think I prefer the opening. Like, I think that sweet fruit in the opening is a bit nicer than when it wears off and you've got the candy and the musk. I think the musk comes through. I don't get much of the woodsy notes in the base, but I enjoy the opening a bit more than I enjoy the dry down, if that makes sense. I think most of the merit of this fragrance is right up front. But obviously that's how you sell a fragrance too, because when people test it out somewhere, they're smelling the opening. So generally, I mean, if the dry down is nice, people might not even notice it, or that's generally not why they buy a fragrance. They buy it because of the top for the most part. I'd say it's like a playful fragrance. I'd say it's youthful. Obviously, it reminds me of my youth. It reminds me of like the 2000s. I think one of my sister's friends had it. It was the first time I saw it. And then when I realized that these fragrances were pretty good and I started checking them out, and then if I get the same bottle, a couple bottles of the same, and I like them, then I want to try all of the ones in that bottle. I guess it's like this collecting instinct that I have. So I have a lot of the fantasy line, but I'm glad that I have this, but I'm also glad I have the small size of it, because I don't think I would ever actually work through an entire bottle of this. And it's like a nice kind of daytime scent, but if you're not into sweet scents, you wouldn't probably enjoy this. This does get pretty high marks on Fragrantica. I think there's a 5-star rating scale, and with 14,000 or something reviews, it's almost got a 4. So that's pretty high for that many. So people generally enjoy this fragrance. Again, I don't think it's the best of the fantasy line, but it is nice. It's a nice feminine, fruity gourmand. And now that sugary sweet, I think it's more like candy. I mean, I guess you get cupcake, but white chocolate cupcake is very, very specific as notes. And to me, it doesn't really smell like that. Obviously, there are other notes playing in, like the orris root, the orchid, the jasmine. Very subtle floral. Yeah, so overall, fragrance with merit, not amazing, but for the money, for a full-size bottle for $19, you might like it. You might like to give it to your teenage cousin or niece, or you know, it's youthful, it's sweet. Not bad, not bad. So that is my review of Britney Spears Fantasy, and if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, that would be fantastic, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.